I wanted to thank you for joining me on this episode of Doing Insurance Right. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. I'm a local farmers agency owner here in Phoenix, Arizona. And today I wanted to go over just a simple one here before we get towards the end of the year. You should take a look at your policy here, but just comparing, making sure you go over your policies and try to understand them as we walk into 2020. So not a lot of things to go over today, but I've met with a few clients lately and this one was starting to really bug me. And I just want to make sure if you're listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube or however you're getting with this, but if you don't understand your policy, you do have the right to make sure you understand it and make sure whoever is either the company behind it or the agent to ask them questions to make sure you understand it. You paid for the policy or are continuing to pay for the policy. And especially if you're one of my clients, please do not hesitate to call me and say, I don't understand this. Please explain it to me and explain it to me in a way that I'm going to understand it. Or my staff, if I'm not available, let's set an appointment for me to call or come over or have one of my staff explain it. But I want to make sure that you understand what you were paying for. Okay. Or what gaps you may have that you declined and maybe you didn't understand them. So that's why you declined them. And that's why a lot of people decline on some of the gaps that we recommend is because they don't understand exactly what's going on. And trust me, there's a lot of stuff out there and people are paying for a lot of stuff maybe they don't need, but they decline the stuff that they do. So I just want to make sure that you try to understand a little bit. I don't expect you to go to insurance college, but I'd like you to have the overall working knowledge of what actually you have. I've been to a couple commercial clients that have small business owners that have employees that did not have workman's compensation. Technically, it's not against the law to have it, like in the state of Arizona, but you're open to lawsuit. Who wants to get sued because somebody got a paper cut and now they think they're worth a couple $1 million? Nobody. Who wants that uncomfortable situation? Because I guarantee you this, the employer will lose when it comes to workman's compensation. That's why we have workman's compensation insurance, to protect ourselves, right? Because it is made for the employee. First of all, no employer wants their employee to get hurt. I don't. I have employees. I don't want them to get hurt. Not at all. But I do want to make sure I protect myself in case they do get hurt, right? I don't want to pay twice for an injury. I'm going to pay for them when they get injured, and then I'm going to pay for it again when they want to come after me when they do get injured. Let's say they have to miss work, right? We got to pay them to miss work. Let's say they had to get additional things done at the hospital or doctor, so things like that. Especially if you have employees driving any vehicle, this is so big, right? Because they can get into a car accident and it can be huge, especially holiday season right now. If they're driving anywhere with retail around, people are in a hurry. They're not courteous at all. I mean, they think like they need to get in and out of somewhere in 5 seconds because it's the holidays. And you think, I'm going to tell you right now, people, if you can buy it online, period, right? It's going to save you a lot of traffic and things of that nature. You can buy all the insurance online too. You can call me, we can do it all online. But especially if your employees are driving any of your vehicles, even if they're driving their own vehicle, but for business of yours, make sure you have workman's compensation just for that, because if they get in an accident, that will so help you out when it comes to that. Okay? Understanding what your business owner policy covers is fantastic. If you have a business that is reliant upon the internet, which all of us are, and you do not have anything to do, if you do not have a cyber policy, you better figure out how to get one on your current policy. Or if I were you, I would ask and shop around, or most of them have one available. It's just additional cost. With farmers, we do have it included in our base policy. And the reason is we believe so highly in it that we feel, it'd be criminal not to have one, correct? So just like terrorism's been a big thing over the last probably decade or so, of that's been included in every business owner policy. Same thing with cyber liability insurance, having that in there as well. Next thing you want to look at is when you're looking at like your personal policies, making sure you understand those, what they actually cover. A lot of people want to know if they have rental car coverage, if they have towing coverage. You know, they want to know about it when they need it, but you might want to take 5 minutes before the new year and say, do I have this stuff? You know, going into the next year for my thing. Do I have windshield replacement? Do I have accident? Do I need or do I have accident forgiveness? Do I have new car replacement if I just got a brand new car? You know, whatever that, you know, whatever it may entail. Do I have enough bodily injury, which is one of the main ones to have? Property damage. You know, price of cars keeps going up. Everything around us price-wise keeps going up. Have we looked at our property damage coverage in a while to make sure we have enough to cover in case we do cause an accident? You know, deductible-wise, you know, do we need them at such low limits on the deductibles, or can we raise them up in order to keep our premiums lower? That way we're not paying as much in premiums. Are we betting ourselves to have an accident, or can we raise the deductibles a little bit in order to keep the premiums down? You know, same thing with the homeowners insurance. Obviously, the homes have probably went up a little bit. They have here in the Phoenix area, they have for the last few years tremendously. There's been big growth. Therefore, the dwelling amounts have went up. You know, do we have we bought things to go along with them so our personal properties went up that much? Have we added a swimming pool? Have we added anything else to the house that's not attached to the house that we need to make sure we let the agent know about, or we need to update our policy with? It may not seem like big time things, but when you add things to the house, sometimes it's not a bad idea in order to make sure we let our agency know or our insurer know. Another big thing, if we've done improvements to the home, have we replaced the roof? Completely, not just a patch, completely replace the roof, right? A patch doesn't get you any additional savings, but a complete redone does. That's something we need. Make sure you have a receipt they can send to us. That's an itemized bill. And we'll make sure and get that put on for you. Have we redone AC? Have we redone plumbing? And these are complete redones, not just a patch again. Have we redone electrical? All these things are going to help also with discounts and things of that nature as well. So make sure if we've done any big jobs like that, that we make us aware. We try to touch base as much as we possibly can, but obviously we can't sit there with, and you know, basically we're not at your house 24/7, 365. So communication is key. We want to make sure we communicate as well as we can on our end to you. But if you do have something happen, just let us know. You can email if that's better, text us. If that's better, call us. Whatever way is easiest. It doesn't make a difference. We will get it handled for you, but you do have to communicate it to us to make sure we're helping you out the best we can as well. So just a reminder, just to take a look over your policies. If you don't understand something, it's okay. There are no stupid questions. Trust me. There are none, because it can get very complicated. It can get very confusing, right? I feel like some days I have to go to school all over again to understand some language from a different company, the way they worded something, because it doesn't make any sense, right? But that's okay. That's my job. I take it seriously. I want to make sure everybody in my family, insurance family, wants to make sure that they're covered correctly, right? So do not be afraid to stand up, raise your hand, whatever it may be, just so you understand and that you feel comfortable and you feel safe and protected when it comes to insurance for your business, your home, your family, your automobiles, and everything you have. So I wanted to thank you for joining me on this episode of Doing Insurance Right. As always, if you could rate, review, or subscribe to whatever platform you're listening on, whether it be Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, or any of those other great platforms out there, I greatly appreciate it, as it does help the podcast grow. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.